Hey, it's Casper, and I'm not an artificial intelligence. Unrelated. What's up with captchas nowadays? I mean, how exactly do you define a traffic light? And do you expect me to believe that these are alphanumeric characters from any fucking language database? Be fucking for real. But one day, robots might look like me. Or are they already? If you haven't heard, our favorite slave owner, Elon Musk, is bringing forth a new wave of technologies that'll revolutionize the future. Again, haters be damned. This is the kind of shit you see in movies, like zombies or talking holograms. Okay, that's not the fairest comparison, because these humanoid robots are, in fact, here. They even have a Hawk 2 version. Godspeed, Haley. Crank on that chrome. But, I'm left to wonder, what exactly is the point of these? According to Elon, just about everything. From mowing lawns, walking your dog, grocery shopping, and just being your friend. Aww. But I think the most understated aspect of this is that they want to replace workers, like specifically factory workers and things, in the Tesla factories. Imagine that, like, not having to work. Look at our socialist icon go. All in all, it seems like their goal is just to replace humans in general. I mean, of course there's implications behind that, disregarding the fact that it's damn near impossible. Like, humans are very complex creatures, and not in some intelligent design way, but in the way that millions of years have led us to something that just kind of works. It's our elaborate combination of flaws that make us what we are, not just the body plan and complex language. You see, it's that feeling of your heart fluttering when you smell that scent that's not really there and it's all in your head. It's the difference between writing a character and knowing a person. It's just a human experience. You can't program that, you're born with that. But we sure have tried like hell. One of the first automatons was a bird. Created in about 420 BC, architects of Tarentum made it out of wood and steam, presumably with the intention to understand bird flight. Although scientists aren't sure exactly why or how he made this, one thing can be certain. People have been trying to make fake real things in real life for a real long time. Much like that sinking feeling in your stomach when you got that text from that person, scientists didn't stop there. Of course we did our favorite thing and we made people. Meet Electro, debuting a few years later in 1940 at the New York World Fair. This is a fucking unit of a metal man. He stood at 7 feet tall, 265 pounds, he could walk, speak recorded lines, see on the red-green spectrum, and best of all, he could fucking smoke. Like, imagine that blunt rotation. I think I'm gonna get drafted, man. Damn. He even had a dog, Sparky, also made of metal. It could bark, beg, regular dog shit. All in all, that sounds like a great exhibit to me. I say we stop there. But in human fashion, we gotta keep fucking pushing. So let's skip to about 1950. Alan Turing coined the term Turing test. That was a lot of tea. But it's basically the idea that artificial neurons can think. This is a huge breakthrough. Like, it laid the foundation for AI as we know it today. So in the simplest terms possible, it's to determine if a robot can have a conversation with words it came up with by itself. Which I think is pretty simple. I've been doing that since I was a baby, but in fairness, this is the baby stages of AI. By the way, robots and AI aren't the same thing. Most modern robots do use some kind of application of AI, but not all AI are robots. Think all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. That kind of thing. Like, ChatGPT is a machine learning system. Basically, it gathers from copious amounts of data to consolidate it for our small, simple human brains. Kind of like Google Plus, not the dead social media website, but like an advanced search engine. Let's go to 1951 when Marvin Minsky and Dean Edmonds made the first neural network. Complex story, concise. It's like one of those rat cheese experiments, but instead of robots, they use like little lights to simulate the rats. You see, shit got real interesting when the rats were able to learn from each other. Like, formulate plans to get the cheese faster and shit, like 20-year-olds on a podcast. So this is the first machine to teach itself things. It's called SNARK. It stands for this. I have a script. I'm not remembering all this. So what do you get when you combine a robot body with a robot mind? You get Sophia. Debuted in 2016 as one of the most advanced robots. I'm sure you've probably heard of her.
Hello, Will Smith.
It's nice to meet you, Sophia. Let me tell you a joke.
This is an irrational human behavior. to want to tell jokes.
What is a robot's favorite kind of music?
What?
Heavy metal.
Honestly, it's pretty amazing. Like, she can express emotions, make conversation, crack jokes. It's basically a full person. Minus a few uncanny things. But let's get back to the purpose of these bots. The creators of Sophia seem to have a concept of a plan, much like the Tesla bots, it's just for the general positive benefit of mankind. In her case, they specify on the website that they want to help with, education, medical, that kind of thing, and also just in the advancement of AI itself. The people smarter than me seem to be very, into this idea of a jack of all trades robot, which makes a lot of sense, I can't lie. Like, the world was made around humans, for humans, by humans. So it makes the most sense to just make something you could just slot in there, easy peasy. But on the other side of things, if they're made to do everything humans can do, then that would also limit them to what humans can't do, you know? Like, let's take a hand, for example. We know them, we love them, we're born with them. But they're not really the best at really anything. Like, we can push, pull, grab, of course, but there's constructs that already exist that are much better and more efficient at doing those things already. Don't even get me started on legs. There's a reason why it's a huge engineering hurdle, and just kind of hurdle for most other creatures to do this shit, because it fucking sucks, bro. We're just falling forward and catching ourselves. Hell, it actively destroys us too. Our backs and knees are in shambles after a couple decades of doing it. It's crazy. Wheels are one of the best things ever made because, it's the most efficient way to cross a flat surface. But not every surface is flat. Now is it? That's why we have tracks and treads. Hell, fucking 4 legs are better than the 2 we have. It's such a massive improvement, just in, general locomotion moving around. Don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-robot, not in the slightest. I fully accept and believe and hope that in the future, robots will play a pivotal role in society. But I just don't think this is the exact way to go about it. Like, sure, they look fucking awesome, and it's truly marvelous and commendable and so impressive, and I couldn't do this shit in a million years, that people have been able to recreate such a complex creature, even almost half of its potential. I know that's probably underselling, but I'm just saying, just to get my point across. And not to mention, this shit looks great on social media.
Tonight is going pretty well.
I mean, seriously? I don't know if you've ever been to a bar before, but, a non-zero part of the appeal is the bartender, the human across from you. I don't think these robots are programmed to overpour your shots if they like you. I mean, at this point, why not just make it a drink dispenser? It stops the whole, bite in hands situation you got going on there. Draw a face on it if it makes you feel better. That's my problem with the whole humanoid robot thing. You see, humans need tools and shit because we can't replace our hands with drill bits. Why would you take the resources to train a robot how to use a forklift when you could just give the forklift a brain? You can still draw a face on it. It's okay. The way I see it, in areas where robots would excel, warehouses and manufacturing, jobs in harsh environments, combat, shit like that, I say make the right body plan, throw some AI in it, slap her on the ass, and send that baby off. What? But in the places where humans are needed, yes, humans are still needed. The more interpersonal affairs, childcare, education, law, I think we still need humans there. And yes, I understand, in the current political climate, especially around the law, people would rather have literally anything there. There's already humans and they're fucking up bad. Even if that means put a cold steel patroller in their place. I want you to think on this question, who's gonna be making those robots? At least you could try to reason. I'm sorry, that's not a good argument, but you get the point. All of this isn't to say that human-ish robots wouldn't have any kind of place in a futuristic society. I'm sure they'd find a niche, but it'd be a niche that's a lot smaller than what these tech bros are making it out to be. For example, the medical field. It's an incredibly high demand and severely understaffed. I say you throw some treads on the guy, give him a scalpel hand, and, start letting him slice up patients. The only way I could see a fully humanoid robot being necessary is where 2 specific lines cross between needing the familiarity of a human, and also places where the utmost precision isn't exactly necessary, like nursing homes, receptionists, goonbots, because that's the only objective value I could really see in a entirely humanoid robot. It's just the familiarity that it gives you. Our brains understand and communicate with humanoid expressions. But on that same note, I know plenty of people who care much more about mudang than any person they've met in their entire life. So I can't be sure exactly how important that is. In closing, I think the whole Tesla bot thing is just another Elon expedition. Like, it sounds great on headlines, it gets a lot of positive social media press, and it adds to his whole revolutionary sciences thing he's going for. But hey, who knows? Maybe scientists will hit a huge breakthrough and crack the way to make a proper working knee, and every single point I made in this video will be wrong. And if that happens, which it very well may, I'll take that L. Science does that sometimes. Shit just kind of explodes exponentially. And I'm not really opposed to that. Until then, got a blast.
Never